What do you think that means for like education that when you are thinking about, let's say people that are listening that are in college, thinking about going to college or maybe going back to grad school, if there's this demand for what used to be two separate disciplines, right? Someone that graduates as a physics major or a comp sci major, you usually, I mean, there's obviously exceptions where people are graduating with like double majors, but for the most part, most people are not double majoring in these two areas. Do you see that changing and that being a requirement moving forward, or how should people think about how to
Yeah.
prepare for that changing job situation?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it is changing, or you can say it has already changed, at least at some of the top schools. So regardless of department, schools will make sure that undergraduates going through different programs get exposed to some kind of coding skills. But I think the way people should think about this is not that I think people have to get the notion out of their mind, which is that software is a computer science skill. I think software in our day and age is almost like everybody, at least in a technical field, should know math. One can argue that depending on what you're working on, you should know different kinds of subjects within math, or to different varying degrees of advanced levels. But software is sort of a generic skill that everybody should know. And part of the reason for that is because there's so many things you could do today using software that aren't restricted to things that would be associated with computer science. And so in that sense, I think, especially in technical fields or what are called STEM fields, I think everybody should know a minimum amount of software development skills. Now, keep in mind that when we say software engineering, that means something slightly different. And that's basically software development skills applied in a different way or in a different level of rigor. And that's partly because the way software companies view software engineering, right? It has to be done in a certain disciplined way because their product is the software, right? So, and their product shouldn't break, and it should work, and it should be reliable and robust, which requires a ton of extra work that, let's say, you wouldn't do, or people generally don't do if they are writing software in graduate school. But nevertheless, right, the delta between those two things is just some best practices and some extra work required for, let's say, testing and such. But, people are still writing software in both cases. And just the ability to just write software, and you can put aside the testing and the best practices part. Just the ability to write software, I think, is a powerful skill that people in all STEM fields at least should be exposed to, and maybe even outside that, because it's just a useful tool for various things people
Yeah.
will.
If you enjoyed this clip, make sure you watch the entire video, which has a lot more content just like this. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our episodes where we talk to leaders in the tech industry, from software engineers to product managers to engineering managers, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and also click the notification bell.